Three women disappeared overnight. No signs of a struggle, no forced entry, and everything was left behind. Their purses, their cars, even their keys. It was as if they had simply stepped out and never came back. More than 30 years later, no bodies have been found, no one has been charged, and no one knows what happened inside that house. It was June 7th, 1992, in Springfield, Missouri. Susie Streeter had just graduated high school. That night, she went out to celebrate with her best friend, Stacy McCall. Friends later described the night as normal. They attended graduation parties, spent time with classmates. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. At some point after midnight, the two girls decided to spend the night at Susie's home. Inside the house was Susie's mother, Cheryl Levitt. Cheryl was known to be friendly, organized, and cautious. By all accounts, it should have been a completely ordinary night. Sometime in the early morning hours, something happened inside that house. No one knows exactly when. No one knows exactly how. But by the time the sun came up, all three women were gone. Later that morning, friends arrived at the house. At first, nothing seemed wrong. The front door wasn't broken, no windows were shattered. But then, small details started to stand out. All three women were missing, but their belongings were still there. Susie's purse, Stacy's purse, Cheryl's purse, all left behind. Inside those purses were their keys, their money, their identification. Outside, their cars were still parked in the driveway. Everything suggested they had not planned to go anywhere. Then there was the porch light. The glass covering had been shattered, but strangely, the broken pieces had been swept up. This raised an unsettling possibility. Someone had been there long enough to clean up. Not long after, the phone began ringing. Friends answered. The caller said things that made them uncomfortable, not clearly threatening, but disturbing. Each time, the caller hung up. Eventually, the calls stopped. To this day, no one knows who was on the other end of that line. When police arrived, they immediately recognized something unusual. There were no signs of forced entry, which suggested one of two things. Either the women knew the person who came inside, or the person entered without needing permission. Investigators began interviewing friends, neighbors, anyone who might have seen something. Several leads emerged. One involved a man known to have a criminal history. Another suggested the possibility of someone watching the house. But none of these leads produced enough evidence. No fingerprints, no DNA, no confirmed witnesses. Over time, multiple theories developed. Some believe this was a targeted abduction, that one of the women was the intended victim, and the others were taken to eliminate witnesses. Others believe it may have been a crime of opportunity, someone passing through who saw an open window or an unlocked door. But there's a problem with that theory. It doesn't explain how three people could be removed so quickly and so quietly. What makes this case so unusual is what didn't happen. No signs of struggle, no neighbors reporting noise, no evidence left behind. It's as if whoever was responsible knew exactly what they were doing. More than 3 decades later, the case remains unsolved. No confirmed sightings, no recovered remains. Just a house where 3 lives ended without warning, and a question that still has no answer. What happened inside that house that night?